I mean, what a reaction to the earnings. What about the look forward? There's a lot to get excited about, the back to school buying. Are you feeling positive?
Yeah, we are. I think, 4 consecutive quarters of growth, both in sales, gross margin, and EBITDA, consistent performance, consistently delivering on what we said we would do, and really laying the foundation for that 3-year plan we began in Q1 of 2021. So very excited about that. We also feel very excited about Q2 and what lies ahead for the back to college moment and what that means for our business. I think the return to new normalcy, whether it be weddings, babies, back to college, household moves, I think that all lies ahead for the US, and that's where Bed Bath & Beyond and businesses like Bye Bye Baby can really shine.
All right, so that's the sales side of the equation. Of course, there's the cost side as well, Mark. Just yesterday on this program, we were talking with the CEO of a big freight data company and was talking about just how hard it is to get things delivered and to get things delivered, I guess, at a price that would be considered fair. Are you facing any issues right now with getting goods into the store, getting them shipped around where they need to be?
Look, we're fortunate at the moment that we're at our highest level of in-stock ratios at about 95%. We curated our assortment down. We took $100 million out of inventory, down 6% while our sales were up. But we're in stock, and we're in stock primarily also too in our top 200 items, so ready for that sales event. I think that some of the squeeze that we're seeing on shipping, labor, those things in our side of the business, it seems to be more postponed to potentially impacting or having to be reviewed in the second half of the year. We have our goods for this next quarter. We're secure. The prices are there. So we're not seeing any volatility in that. From my prior experience, I know that the food and beverage, the essentials area and the beauty area, they're kind of the first wave to be hit with that inflation rate. We don't play in those areas heavily, and so we're more secure in our buying and our shipping. But we are watching it very, very closely. The freight issues, the inventory potential issues, as well as any inflation rate that may affect product.
How are you feeling about pricing power, extending that on to the consumers versus some of the discounting and promotions?
Yeah, I think that we're well poised at Bed Bath & Beyond, because what we see that we had prior was, we did have a price differential. We were priced higher than the market. We've actually reduced that down month by month over the last year, and we're now in a very close index with key competitors like Amazon and Target. And I think the customers recognize that value, and you see in the sales. We also price with dynamic pricing on national brands, and we have map-based pricing. So we move up and down in accordance with our competition to stay really relevant and price competitively. So we feel good about that piece. But the real win here, guys, is the own brand piece. But we've brought that in. We've priced competitively, added opening price point into our assortment, and are really driving a new price value equation at Bed Bath & Beyond. So that helps us to weather any price variation storms, and we think we've done that incredibly well.
Mark, I want to go back to you just mentioning when responding to Romain about some of the supply chain effects, and you said that perhaps in the second half of the year, this is something you're going to deal with, particularly on the labor side. What are you doing about enticing people to come work for you? Are you having to raise wages? Are you thinking about that? Is it more a benefit story? Are you feeling the pressure to try and bring more people in to work with you?
We've seen, an interesting stability in our workforce. We've seen a turn at the base level slightly increased on the last year. So that is happening. I think the workforce is changing. But we've been able to fulfill that number of our team members and stabilize our associates across the board. So we're not seeing a deficit, and therefore that's not resulting in a current pressure. I think for us, incentives and benefits become incredibly important. And I think Bed Bath & Beyond historically was behind the times a little bit. We've done a ton of work in the last 12 months to bring our benefits structure up to speed with the market. And I think that makes us competitive and creates stability in our workforce.
What about your employees at your corporate headquarters, Mark, here? Have they all been brought back into the office yet? What's sort of the strategy here for getting back to normal there?
Yeah, I think that we actually postponed and wanted our associates in headquarters to be able to plan their lives. And so we know that back to school in our New Jersey headquarters, back to school is an important time with families. So we postponed the return to office to after Labor Day. And we've actually engaged all our team members at leadership level, extended leadership team level, to advise us, to give us feedback on what does a new working model. We'll definitely be going back to the office then. What does that look like in a hybrid model? How does that work? How do we take the current learnings of how we've been operating very successfully and merge that with an in-office environment to create the new Bed Bath & Beyond? So that's work in progress, but making great progress as we go along.
Private label, quickly, just to wrap up here, has that exceeded your expectations in this turnaround? What does that mean for future efforts to double down?
Yeah, it's early, but it has exceeded our expectations. We had a full-year goal to by Q4 to hit a 20% penetration rate. We were previously at 9 to 10. We're already doubling that ratio in that first quarter with the sequential launch mid-March, mid-April, mid-May of the new own brands. Another 3 in this half. We're only going to see growth of that penetration rate. We're excited. We're in a transition phase as we exit aged and underperforming merchandise and aged private label business and replace it with this statement own brand product. So very encouraged with the consumer adoption, the sell-through, the excitement, the engagement, the way we've showed up in a 360 environment. Customers responding. We're happy. I think good things lie ahead.